Alright, today I'm gaming with Rin on demo weekend. I picked up a adventure story type game called Lumine. When I started my webcomic, I had wanted to do it as a prequel for a game, and it was going to be a detective story with sort of supernatural vibes. But, I gave up on it because I couldn't find the art talent, and everyone was always saying, oh, your art's not good enough. So I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of when I started streaming games instead. It's like maybe someday I'll go back to it as a passion project. I'm just happy I sort of got through enough of it to finish the first season. I did write out a second season to The Adventures of Rin, and it was the detective story. Maybe someday I'll turn it into a game. Maybe someday I'll just make it into a webcomic. Or maybe it'll just sit in the back of my brain taking up real estate, who knows. Anyway, that's what brought me to this game. I saw it and I'm like, oh yeah, nostalgia. It reminds me of what I was hoping to one day achieve that these guys actually did achieve, so good for them. So let's see what it looks like. Seems like I made it in time. The scene must be downstairs. Officer Coleman is guarding the scene. I should say hi to him before I go downstairs. Oh god, we're gonna have localization issues. I'm guessing this is an Asian-based game, so the English isn't gonna flow as smoothly as it could, I guess. So we move. I'm using controller. Controller works. Okay. So moving and interacting. We'll talk to Coleman here. Good morning, Officer Coleman. Detective Foster, good morning. The crime scene is over there. The rest of the team is waiting for you downstairs. Alright, so some decent 2D animation here. Detective William wanted barbecued ribs for lunch. What, am I getting your order? Is that why you're telling me? Well, I'm not sure. I walked past the place on the way. It was closed. Oh, Detective William won't be happy to hear that. He really seemed like he was craving for some ribs. Well, let's get some burgers after we're done here. Sounds good, sir. Hey now, you over there, don't cross the line. Seems like the body on the beach is becoming a bit of an attraction. I should wrap this up before more people come to see what's going on. It's odd that they're talking about lunch at a crime scene. Usually people don't think about food when surrounded by the dead and the scent of death, but sure. I should first go downstairs and say hi to the rest of the team. Stop for a moment and think. Contemplate right trigger. First things first, I should talk to my colleagues. But I want to inspect the corpse. It's the body of a man found on the beach this morning. I'd like to take a look at that body right away, but protocol is protocol. I should first go say hi to the other officers. First. So, if you won the game back then... Hey William, how are things looking? Oh, the man of the hour. What took you so long? We're already done with the initial sweep. I'm sorry, I couldn't find my badge in my coat pocket. Wow, these guys. Your badge? Did you leave it at home? I never leave it out of my pocket. I just couldn't find it anywhere. You lost your badge. Ugh, one hell of a cop you are, Kelvin. Isn't that right, Sergeant Colbert? I've never seen Foster being late and losing his badge. Life is full of surprises. Okay, so these cops are kind of, they have problems. They're thinking about lunch, they don't care about the body, they're losing things, and they're not working, they're just standing around chatting. Great. Is that how Asian police enforcement is? My apologies. How's the investigation going? Well, it's a tricky case. We're already done with the search, but... Oh, what could an old man like me find here? Better you than me. And they already gave up on investigation. Great. Williams says it seems like a normal suicide. I reckon Calvin would have to agree with me once he takes a look at the scene. Right, partner? Let's hear what our informant quo witness, Mr. James, has to say. Informant quo witness? I'm not sure where to begin. Why don't you give me a lowdown starting from the beginning? Okay, well, to start from the beginning, I was walking down the footpath here when I was getting off work last night. When exactly do you mean by last night? something like midnight or half past, I think. So they left it 6 hours before they investigated? Or it took them 6 hours to sweep and now they're just standing around. Phew, I've been working grave shifts all the time and we're short-staffed. I can't even go home for dinner. I get so tired when I go back home late at night and I can't even spend time playing with my kids. Maybe I should look for a new job before the company really goes bust. But that would mean I'd no longer see this beautiful coastline when I commute. Sitting on the beach here and looking at the ocean does feel a bit relaxing. What's that? He's still alive. What's that guy doing here at this time of the night? Tisk tisk, a raging alcoholic that. He's living the good life, unlike someone who's been working all this time. Anyway, that's how I would have looked like when I sat there. I guess other people thought the same about me when I was sitting there. I guess I will stop lounging there like that. So I went back home thinking that the man was asleep there after a night of heavy drinking. Drinking on the seawall? People do that sometimes, I suppose, right? And he was waving his arms around like this. I wasn't sure if he was sleeping or turning. But anyway, if the guy was drunk, it's not that strange of a thing, is it? I bet anyone would have thought the same. But this morning, something happened. I always commute using this footpath, you see. I was on my way to work today, and that man was still there lying down like a log at the same spot. I mean, he was dressed neatly and all, but he's out there sleeping on the street. I thought it was odd and went down to the beach to see what's up with him. When I got close to him, I noticed he wasn't breathing, and he looked very pale. That's why I went to the phone booth there and reported it to the police. You know, this is still freaking me out. Yesterday night he was alive, and this morning he ends up dead. Okay. Clues tab, you can check. So you're sure you saw him alive and waving his arms last night? Yes, I'm sure. Thanks, Mr. James. Hey, William, let me take a closer look at the body. I don't have my badge with me today, so I think I need your help, detective. Whatever, go on. Okay. So interface-wise, I'm fine with the interface. Like, the animations for the 2D characters are very good. Story so far is, are you trying to paint them all as idiots? Is that what you're doing? Is this political? I'm not sure. A man was discovered dead leaning on the seawall at the end of the Somerset Beach path. The corpse looks as calm as a person who is as fast asleep in a restful nap. There are no bloodstains nearby, and it wouldn't have been easy to notice that he was dead before checking on him from a mirror. Right, I should thoroughly inspect anything that could be a clue to cracking the case open. Okay, so move cursor, inspect objects. You can use the detect function. You can't end the field investigation until you collect all information. Okay, so he's got a cigarette butt. These cigarettes, I'm not sure what make they are. It almost looks a bit like a hand-rolled cigarette. Shape and size of the filter is slightly different from the regular ones. William, where did you find this cigarette butt? Oh, we found this on the man's tie. On the man's tie? So it fell out of his mouth? Look, it was on his tie like this. I guess you could say it was on his chest. The smoked belt was found on his tie. I'm surprised it didn't burn his tie. For some reason this doesn't seem right. So it fell out of his mouth, but it was already out? This wallet is made of sheepskin. I'm guessing that it would have been pricey. But the inside betrays its looks, not a single cent. William, this wallet, right? What pocket did you find it in? It was in his back pocket, I'm sure. In his back pocket, so he sat on it. The corpse is sitting. I guess it wouldn't have been easy to take it out of his back pocket. Yeah, tell me better. If someone wasn't late, pushing the wallet out of his pocket would have been a cakewalk. They told me to keep the scene as intact as possible until you got here, so that's why. You know how hard it was to lift the body up, take the wallet out of his pocket, and set him down again? I see. Sorry about that. You know, if you're going to be late, better yet, just skip it. I can't not come though, right? I'll make sure to be on time. But anyway, about this wallet, it doesn't have a single thing in it. Wonder how long it will take to ID him. Yep, this man, he hasn't got a single thing on himself. He's simply penniless. So, did they steal from his wallet? The dead man hardly had anything on himself, not a single thing a regular person would bring with him when he's out and about. So these 2 bus tickets in his wallet are all he had. 2 tickets from yesterday both said they depart from Salty Mary Station. They depart on different times. And the destinations are different too. A ticket bound for Somerset Beach at 8:10. Seems like this man used his ticket last evening to take the bus here, and he didn't have money to go home. The other ticket is strange. It's a ticket bound for Pamela Street at 8:30. The destinations are different and he wouldn't have used it anyway. Why did he buy it then? If he bought the wrong ticket, he would have gotten a refund. It's not like he had a lot of money to spare, after all. So he had another ticket to somewhere else, but he came here instead. His hands are clean and smooth, without any calluses or scars. His nails are filed neatly, too. His suit seems to be quite the expensive type, too. He would have been a well-educated, upper-class businessman, or at least would have worked in some sort of white-collar job. I wouldn't expect a man of this stature to be found dead in a place like this all alone. The man's fingers are stained with nicotine. He must have been a heavy smoker, for his fingers to be this discolored. He must have smoked at least 2 packs a day. Since his other hand is clean, he must have smoked with his left hand only. I'm guessing it would have been left-handed. Wait, this is not a handkerchief. There's something interesting in his chest pocket. Sema, what is this? William, I just found this in the man's chest pocket. Did you notice this? Oh wait, he had something more on him. Did you miss this in the first sweep? I forgot to check his chest pocket. But what's this Sema? What does it mean? I'm not sure either. The letters are printed on a pulp-based paper with equal margins. Seems like he tore it from a book of some sort. Normally in a pocket like this, people would put a folded handkerchief. If this man left a note here, it would have been something important to the deceased man, I suppose. At least he wouldn't have lost it if he put it somewhere like this. The man's face is calm, and it seems like he died during his sleep. His face makes it look like he died painlessly. His beard is trimmed neatly. Seems like he shaved yesterday morning. I should check his pupils, too. His pupils are dilated, no reflexes either. Sounds right for a dead man's eye. It's been decades in Somerset since the last time a corpse like this appeared. I should do my best to resolve this mystery so the man could find some respite. From the witness's testimony, the man stayed on the beach all night. His shoes aren't dirty at all, though. It doesn't seem like he was walking around the beach at all. Looks like he was just sitting here ever since he got to the beach. I don't see any traces of a fight or any trauma either. Since he's clothed well in an expensive suit, he would have been warm enough as well. And since last night wasn't that cold either, it's not likely that hypothermia is the cause of death. Everything leading up to his death was just peaceful. Like William said, it's all looking like a simple suicide. I think I've looked through all that I have to. I suppose I could wrap up the investigation here. Okay. Did you check everything? So what do you think, Detective Foster? Well, like we said, it's a tricky case. We could not find any wounds on the body. It doesn't seem like hypothermia or a drowning. The man came to the beach on his own on a bus and died peacefully leaning on the seawall. The first thing that comes to mind is a suicide or a natural death, but what do you think, Calvin? Either a suicide or a natural death, no? I don't think we can rush to a conclusion yet. What do you mean, rush? You saw everything, didn't you? There wasn't a single drop of blood on the body or near it. So what you are saying is the man was not murdered. That's right. I mean, don't you get a good hunch from all this? A hunch? But a person died, William. We can't base our investigation on a hunch. Something to do with the cigarette, right? Because, hey, it was just an expression. It's all a result of a logical and reasonable process of deduction, alright? That's how you do things, isn't it? Really? Give me a rundown, then. Well, why not? My deduction is bulletproof. So here it goes. The man, for an unknown reason, tried to find where he could end his life. That place happened to be Somerset Beach. Only he would know why he chose an awkward spot like this, but I suppose he wanted to feel the ocean breeze and watch the nightscape for the last time. And anyway, after admiring Pimstone's beautiful night skylight, he decided to smoke one last cigarette before he ended everything. A lonely end, but it could be worse, or at least he had his last cigarette. Okay, so if he's committing suicide, what was his method of suicide? There's no drug packet, there's no injection site, there's no cyanide pill or poison at the lips. I suppose he would have said something like, yep, this wasn't half bad of a life, before he made his final choice. And the cigarette butt dropped as the man let out his final breath. That's why we found the cigarette butt on his tie, just like we found him. How's that, huh? Matches up with the scene, huh? So that's your argument? This wasn't a tough nut to crack, after all. William, it looks like you're proud of this deduction. Sorry I have to break the mood. There's a major hole in William's deduction. I'm guessing that something completely different happened last night. If the cause of death is unclear, it's best to send the body for an autopsy. It's difficult to get an autopsy approved in a corpse that committed suicide or died naturally. Nobody wants to disturb the dead without a good reason. But if there's a single tiny little clue, if I can find a single clue that the man could have been a victim of a murder, then let's get started cleaning up around here. Wait, William, I think you're making some unsubstantiated claims there. What? You still don't get it? What do you not understand? Go on, spit it out. I'll repeat it until you understand why I was right. It could be a robbing because the man has no money in his wallet and he looks very wealthy. Refute you. That's an idea and a half. Let's see if our deductions have any issues. If either one of us makes an irrefutable argument, we'll know who's right. Okay. Strengthen your argument or refute your argument. Place the right clue on the scale to change its tilt. Provide the correct clues to the situation to steer the deduction in the right corner. Okay, William, I think the key evidence in the scene supports that your deduction is the cigarette butt found on the top of the dead man's tie. Is that right? Well, yeah, I guess so. It wasn't just rolling around anywhere. It was just right there on his chest. Isn't that natural to think that the man was smoking it? And didn't you say that the cigarette seems to be hand-rolled? Right, I'm sure this isn't readily available everywhere. Then it's natural to think that the dead man used this to commit suicide. So William thinks the cigarette butt here is the key to the case. Are you implying that the cigarette was poisonous and no external actor was involved in this man poisoning himself to death? That explains why the corpse and its surroundings are so clean. At least from a cursory look, it doesn't look very poisonous. It doesn't smell like it either. Of course, a proper lab test is due. I'm not speaking in absolutes. All I'm just saying is that the crime scene makes it look like the case. Doesn't that mean what you said about the cigarette is just a hypothesis? Hey, not all hypotheses are wrong. Of course not, but what if there's a major problem in the hypothesis itself? Well, what do you mean, a major problem? Were you even listening to me? Right. I'll give you a rundown for the last time. Listen up. Last night, the man decided to come to Somerset Beach. He used this bus ticket that departed from Salty Mary Station. Why? To commit suicide. Then, the man had to smoke a cigarette. Why do I say that? You saw how stained his left hand was from nicotine, didn't you? That means the man was a heavy smoker. Do you get what I mean? Whether the cigarette contained poison or not, is not important. What is important is that this man was the type of man who just had to smoke one last cigarette before ending it all. I admit that there's some imagination to my deduction. I wasn't here looking over the man as he dies. How would I figure out exactly how he died? But look at the evidence left on the scene. A single wallet the dead man had, a note with some unidentifiable scrawl. A bus ticket that the man used, and the cigarette he smoked. There's nothing here suggesting that anyone else was here other than him. Which means that he either took some poisonous pill or died naturally due to some illness he had. You have 2 more pieces of evidence that support your hypothesis. Good work, William. It's time to admit it. Your partner, Detective Foster, is as capable as you are in the art of deduction. William, you're one hell of a detective, but people can make mistakes. There's a major contradiction in your deduction. Your clue that reveals the contradiction is... he was still alive. The man did not have enough things in his possession. Well, what does that have to do with anything? Let's say that, like, oh yeah, where is his, cigarette rolling supplies? That's true. Let's say that the man grabbed his last cigarette from his pocket. How could he have lit it? Yeah, he doesn't have a lighter, that's true. Light it. Oh. All this man had on him was a wallet, 2 bus tickets, and a little piece of paper. None of that could be used to light up a cigarette. How do you smoke without a match or a lighter? That... Oh, right, he could have thrown away his lighter after he lit a cigarette. For instance, he could have thrown it into the ocean. Well, you know, getting rid of one's belongings before dying and that sort. Wouldn't that be explain why he came to the beach in the first place? I don't think so. If he threw away his belongings in the ocean for closure, why didn't he throw away his wallet? That... You're right. Wait, that's it. A thief stole it, alongside other valuables on him. The man has been sitting here all alone, right? Makes perfect sense for a thief to target him. If that was the case, it explains how he was quite literally penniless, because he was robbed penniless. I'm sorry, but I disagree. What makes you so sure? Do you have proof that nobody could have robbed him during the night? Of course, there's a critical piece of evidence. It's because of the position of the wallet, where this wallet was found. Where we found the wallet? Yeah, what did you say when I asked you where you found this wallet? William, this wallet, right. What pocket did you find it in? It was in his back pocket, I'm sure. If a thief stole the belongings of a man who was fast asleep sitting here and only left his empty wallet behind, why would the thief put the wallet in the man's back pocket when he would have been sitting on? Yeah, he was sitting on it. And didn't you say this too is difficult? You know how annoying it was? Yeah, the corpse sitting, I guess it wouldn't have been easy to take it out. Told me to keep the scene as intact as possible until you got here, so that's why. How hard it was to lift the body up, take the wallet out of his pocket, and set him down again. That's what you told me. If that's right, the thief took utmost care not to disturb the man's posture as he sat down here. I don't think it's very likely a thief as sophisticated as that would be behind this. So the man would not have had much on him from the beginning, without money nor lighter, and someone else would have been there, who had a lighter or a matchstick and could light the cigarette. Yeah, alright, okay, you're right. Even if the scene looks peaceful at first glance, maybe it's because the culprit tried to clean up the scene to derail us. Maybe the culprit first killed him with poison, then left the corpse on the beach while nobody was looking. This beach is a bit of a secluded area, and it's not too shabby for a corpse dump. The culprit could have potentially left a cigarette on the body to make it look like the victim committed suicide. The victim and the culprit knew each other. There could have been some bad blood between them. Dropped a cigarette on the victim, as the culprit wanted to mock him, and so forth. You said the poison theory is just a hypothesis. Of course. All this is a hypothesis. I say an autopsy will make things clear. What do you say? So that's why you wanted to argue that it was a murder? Because us police only get the right to perform autopsies when it's clear it's a murder? Yeah, if I'm on the money, this is a first-degree murder. Sounds like we're about to get busy. How do we even ID this guy? Well, it seems like the man tried to get to Pamela Street yesterday. We should talk to the people who live there and look for any witnesses around the ticket booth. You have a way of making more work for all of us. And the autopsy, I suppose Dr. Charlotte could take care of it? She's the only doctor that does any sort of that thing in this backwater town anyway. Why do you even ask? Well, forget all that. Let's go for lunch already. I'm starving. We're getting roofs today. That place has been closed since last week. Let's have burgers instead. Nothing's going my way today. Okay. Now we're at the hospital corridor. Kelvin, there you are. Ah, William, just in time. Did we identify the deceased man? Yeah, Officer Coleman gave me a copy of the residence on Pamela Street. All of the residents? That was fast. Didn't you know that the place was basically deserted for a while? There were only 3 households there. Coleman even ran their plates. Only 3, huh? I didn't know that. Makes sense. It didn't take that long, right? Here's the case report. It's the preliminary report. Okay. Coleman said there's some new information updated after the preliminary investigation. Thanks, I'll get right to it. Okay, so we got... Greenston. So Louis K. Bryan, Clara Leatherfield, and Alexander Wayne. On a long-term business trip. 6 months tax overdue, house on auction in a vacant house. No family, friends, in a single household. All brand labels have been removed from the clothing. Okay, so it was found that none of the man's clothing had brand labels on it. Is this the information you were talking about? I think so. Let's see. All the labels were removed. I don't even know where the labels are on my own clothes. I guess some people have strange habits. Some people find them scratchy, so they remove them. Some people are wearing knockoffs, so they remove the knockoff labels. The culprit, what advan lab... Okay, I don't know. What is an advent label? Comes from what? Getting rid of the labels. Well, I guess he meant to say what advantage comes from getting rid of the labels. That's probably a localization problem. Maybe the culprit thought that other people knowing where the victim bought his clothes might compromise his identity. Are you implying the culprit was a tailor or something? If that's the case, you should be looking outside of Somerset, somewhere like Pimmstown or... Really? It's a very specific tailor, and he cut the labels out because to hide his identity. Really? You do that? Okay, I'm not saying the culprit must have anything to do with the tailoring. With the peep actor, for some reason, somebody removed all the clues that will help us identify who the victim was. There was not an ID on the body, and the clothes didn't have labels either. So, in most, I don't know, maybe I live in a big city, so the labels of brands generally are so widespread, they don't really help you identify a person. Unless it's a very rare clothing item that's only sold at one location, it tells you where they were and where they might have purchased the clothing. It just might give you a city locale that, oh yeah, they passed through this city and bought it there. The victim was murdered by someone he knew, and the culprit just meant to distract our investigation with it. It won't be a difficult case. But it's odd that the wallet was left on the body despite everything. If the culprit was that thorough, there's no way we would have found any sort of belongings on his body. But if we suppose the victim had actually committed suicide, I guess it would be difficult to claim that he was a regular traveler. If he was someone to try to hide his identity even after death, perhaps he could have been a spy in a government agency or a mafia member of some sort. Really? I think you'd want to fit in as normally as possible. So you just have like a brand name, you just leave it on there. By the way, did you get any news from the train station? Did anyone there see the dead man? Oh yeah, about that I think you should see for yourself. Myself? Did something happen there? I thought Sergeant Colbert was taking care of that. Well, yeah, but there was a report of a burglary last night at the station. They say it would be better if a single detective could work on both cases. Robbery at the train station? When did that happen? Happened last night and it was reported this morning. What? Shouldn't someone have been there already? Wasn't Sergeant Colbert with us this morning, not the train station? Well, the sergeant has a knack of forgetting what he has to do. My gosh, I should have been there as soon as I see the autopsy results. That being said, weren't we supposed to meet the doctor ages ago? Where is she? She's usually on time. Seems like she's still human though. Okay, so again, you're painting your law enforcement as useless. Your coroner's late, your detective was late, your footman officer was in the wrong location. I was having a chat with her just now. She had to attend an urgency, so I was waiting for her to come back. That makes sense. Speak of the devil, there she is. Ah, your partner's here. Sorry for making you wait. Whoa, she looks sleepless. Duty calls, right? So how was the patient? Oh, it's nothing. I can tell you about it if you're curious. It's odd that you'd have a coroner who's responsible for taking care of patients. Unless you have only one doctor in the entire town doing everything. There's a patient who came in yesterday insisting that he had tetanus from a prick on his finger. Seems like the staff sent him to the ER because of acute tremors and general seizure. No tetanus was just detected on the wound on the left index finger and the spatula test. What's the spatula test? You slap them with a spatula. Is that a test I'm not aware of? Came back negative. I believe that the symptoms such as vomiting and dizziness was a result of the digestive medicine you took last night after drinking. So the best thing I can do is administer a vaccine. Sorry to interrupt. But your sleeve is torn. Oh, this. Administering the vaccine is a bit more physically demanding because the patient was convulsing a lot. Calvin, do you understand what she's talking about? I'm thinking a particularly fussy patient came in for vaccination. Yeah, you could say that. Anyway, it's good that the patient was mindful of his health. It's good to get vaccinated for tetanus every 10 years. Ah, right. But anyway, let's get back to the case. Please come in. She was hassled, yo. Here's the autopsy report. I'll take a gander. Should read the autopsy report first. It's in the note between the clues. Alright, So, possibly green colorblind. Estimated time of death, gastrointestinal bleeding, destruction of bleeding of the liver tissues due to acute ulcer, possibly caused by poison. Severe red blood cell destruction. So he did have, how did he have ribs when the rib place was closed? Is that why you kept talking about the rib place? Yep, the man was poisoned. Yep. By the way, do you mind if I use this case in the research paper? In paper, was there something odd about the body? A lot. A lot? Some toxins were discovered in his blood, but I'm getting the feeling that this isn't the end of the story. Some toxins might have been completely decomposed, and that's why they didn't leave traces. Problem, though, isn't the combination of the poisons found. Is that the combination of the poisons found is impossible. Combination? So you're suggesting that the man was poisoned by something man-made. That's right, I'm not sure how it was made, but it's a completely new sort of poison. Would you say that this man was intentionally poisoned then? I can't be sure. The man could have taken the poison himself in order to commit suicide. Trace amounts of atropine means that he would have been completely oh god. Fine. He was drugged, and the man would have been hallucinated. By the time he was in a trance and couldn't feel any pain, the rest of the poisons would have spread into his body, necrotizing his organs. A quiet, drowsy death. You can't feel your insides burning away nor react to it. That's why you couldn't find any evidence of him resisting or struggling in pain. I think I should look into what I found in the man's stomach. It says he ate barbecued ribs before he died. Is there a chance the food was poisoned? It's not impossible, but if it was the case, it's strange that it took so long for him to die after eating it for dinner. Yeah, usually if you have food poisoning or a food reaction, it's within the first 2 hours. He died of a special designer poison, that's all I'm sure of. I see, I got it. Alright, so the man on the beach was poisoned. By the way, do you have this man's name? It's better to include it in the research paper. Living forever in a medical research paper after being poisoned by some ribs. Kelvin, I'm telling you as a friend, if something like that happens to me, do not share my name with any doctor, no matter what. I will if that ever happens. I have a question. Here, you wrote that the man could have been red colorblind. As far as I know, people who are red colorblind have an issue with their optic nerves and cannot distinguish between red and green. Is it possible to know if someone had it through an autopsy? Good point. And you're right, it's impossible to know that through an autopsy. I don't take the eyeball out when I'm doing autopsies. So that thing you wrote then, the reason I wrote the man could have been red-green colorblind is because of the contact lens found on his eyes. I almost missed it since it was stuck onto his eyes after he died, but this man wore green-tinted contact lenses. I was thinking that the man could have used the contact lens to filter out green light to correct his color blindness. That's why I mentioned it in the report. Correcting color blindness with a green-tinted lens? That's an interesting way to deal with it. I'm just suggesting the man could have used the lens for that purpose. You can't actually treat color blindness that way. So, okay, if you can't treat it, why would you write it on the report? That's why people bought it. Is that a common... Color blindness is something that happens at the level of cone cells, just because a lens filters out some... So why did you write it on the damn paper then? Lens looks like a scrappy one made by an obvious amateur. So she thought it was something sold to people who have the problem that doesn't fix the problem, and that's why he might have the problem. Yeah, so she's doing detective work. Isn't the autopsy report just supposed to list what you found, not what you think? Like, you're supposed to stick to the facts when producing a scientific autopsy report. Not try to do the detective's work for them. Anyway, I'm guessing the dead man was trying to invent a corrective lens, only equipped with a limited knowledge on color blindness. I see, corrective lenses for color blindness. Come to think of it, wasn't on the list a man who was green-red colorblind, I mean? It should be on the residence list Coleman picked up for us. Why don't you give that a gander? That's a good idea. The dead man was one of the 3 residents on Pamela Street. Okay. So we have this dude. Hey. Deduce. Okay. It seems like they're trying to go with a little ace detective there. You know, I could have gotten there from just the photo, perhaps. It's a slightly different face. He's a heavier set face. So, you know, it's male, late 30s, with a certain height, the same height, the same characteristics of blonde hair, green eyes. Like, I would have just matched it from that. I wouldn't have put the, like, color blindness, it doesn't make sense. Alright, Alexander Wayne, he seems like our guy. Hold on, are you sure? He looks completely different. Honestly, the photo doesn't look anything like him. But his physical features and the general look does match. What about his age? He doesn't look 35 at all. It could be an old photo. Time did a real number on him. Yeah, it's all fine and dandy, but this man doesn't have any relatives. We don't have anyone to notify. So we don't need any approval from his family. Do you mind if I start working on the research paper then? We're not completely sure yet. So first, we'll look into it and let you know. Thanks. The faster the better. That's one intimidating woman. Other than the autopsy, did you find anything odd from his belongings that we found on the scene? He was poisoned, right? So did you find any similar substance on him, or... Oh, I forgot to mention it because it was rather eventless. I didn't find anything on his belongings. Kelvin said that something was unusual about his cigarettes. I suppose it's interesting how it looks because, like a regular cigarette, it was filled with loose-cut leaves. It wasn't poisonous, though. If anything, the most interesting bit was the note that read SEMA. Note, you mean? Did you find anything on it? No, not really, but isn't it strange that that's a page from that's the last page from a botany book. How would you know that? You're jumping a little bit. A botany book, you say. Do you know anything about the note? Well, it seems like he tore it out of a book called Caphra. SEMA is a word printed on the last page. How would she know that? This Caphra, where can we find it? I bought a copy of it stuck somewhere in a bookstore. I thought the cover looked nice. It's this one here, right? Do you want to read it? A nice cover? I suppose you have an interesting sense of aesthetics. If you don't mind, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, losing my throat. Other than the word on the last page, there's nothing interesting about it. There seemed to be a weird page around the end. I think that's just mistakes someone made when printing the book. Thank you very much for all the help. Always here to help. Any other questions? Nope. It's about time we went anyway. I'll look into the poison a bit more and let you know if anything pops up. Thank you very much. William, I'll head straight to the station. Hey, it's time for dinner. Why don't you stop by the station for some grub? Not feeling it. The folks at the station will be waiting for a cop to show up. I'll see you later, William. Alright, so he's going to the station where they bought the tickets that had a theft. Hey, partner. William, what brings you here? Nothing, really. I thought I could take along. So you decide to skip dinner? It's going to take a while to investigate the attempted robbery, though. Nah, I'm fine. It's not the day for barbecue anyway. Right, yeah, that rib place is still under renovation. I wouldn't be going even if it was open. I told you before. But I don't want to die mysteriously after eating some ribs. You keep beating me over the head with the rib place being closed. That's where they're hiding out, huh? And you don't even have your badge. What are you going to do there alone? That's right. William, you're the best partner ever. Enough already. Let's get this over with. He's stuck with me because I don't have my badge. Okay, well there's a cigarette place. So, I've never seen such an ugly statue. It's based on a Somerset folktale. Never heard anything about it. The name of the station comes from, have you heard the legend of Salty Mary? Isn't table salt? A long time ago, a pack of dirty rabid dogs appeared in Somerset. They spread a lethal plague. Died from the plague, drove a nurse called Mary to do something with the dogs. She's a woman? That's right, the woman in the statue. That's Mary. A single woman took down the rabid dogs. Not just one, but a whole pack of them. The statue makes it look like the dogs ate her alive. Not exactly, she dragged them into the ocean. The ocean? Don't tell me that's why she's called Salty Mary. That's exactly why she's called Salty Mary. People back in the day believed salt waters warded away bad omens or diseases. That's because enough salt destroys the bacteria. So it kills off bacterial infections. At least surface ones on the skin. It also dries out your skin. This isn't a true story, right? I'm not sure, it's a really old story anyway. Alright, anyone else here? I guess I'm just supposed to go into the station, yeah. Crowded as usual. Robert can't stop trains from running, eh? There's an employee right there. We should ask him some questions. Excuse me, do you work here? Ah, how can I help you? We're from the Somerset Police, but there was an attempted robbery at the station last night. Oh, you're finally here. That's right. It happened by the storage lockers. Straight to the left, past the security office. Thank you. It's at the end of the corridor. Alright. This is the office where the guards at the train station work. Check out the crime scene first. It's the timetable for buses that leave the station. Alright. Somerset Beach left at 11:20. The one going to Somerset Beach. Alright. The ticket selling off. The dead man bought his tickets here 2 days ago. Okay. We'll come ask him later. Excuse me. We just talked to him. What happened here? You must have met my brother at the entrance and making fun of the fact that they look the same. Great. We're twins. They mistake us for one another. Twins. Might as well tell you if people are the same. So how can I help you? If you need to use the lockers, I'm afraid you can't. It's under maintenance. We're from the Somerset Police Department. We've heard there was an attempted burglary here. Oh, you're detectives. Welcome. Seems obvious that the burglar wanted to get this locker open. That's right. Whoever that was really worked the pry bars, huh? Locker 222. Okay. One hell of a locker this is. When did it happen? Around 11. Security guard ran straight into him while doing his nightly rounds. The poor man got beat up. That's bad news. Where's the guard now? I'd like to hear more from him. He's at the guard office. Need to attend the passengers. Yada yada, no worries. So he's got cigarettes. It's not gonna let me buy it. Select item. What am I supposed to hit? I want to compare it to the cigarette. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. So they do sell cigarettes, but I can't buy it or compare it. I guess it just walks in a big circle here. We're from Somerset Police Department. Oh, you're here. That's right. It happened by the storage lockers. You're badly hurt, are you okay? Oh, but it's a scratch. The doctor said some ointment will do the trick. Did you get hurt stopping that robber last night? That's right. It's the bastard threw this thing straight at me. Crowbar? Yeah, I kept it as evidence. I thought it might help catch the scumbag. Good thinking. Can you tell us more about what happened last night? Yes, of course. We do our rounds at 11 every night, checking the whole place. So, like always, I was walking towards the lockers. And I saw some scumbag prying at the locker doors with a crowbar. I was shocked. I shouted at him, then the bastard threw this pry bar at me and ran. The guy wasn't hesitating or anything, it just happened to flash. Do you remember what this person looked like? Well, it was really dark last night, and the blood that hit from the hit did confuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't get a good look at him. I'm sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. Never nice to be hit in the face with something. I don't have details, but I'm sure it was a man. He had broad shoulders and, oh, was tall. Thief couldn't break into locker 222. Did anything go missing? None of the safes were touched, and none of our staff reported any missing belongings. I'm just glad the lockers were left intact. It's embarrassing to tell the passengers that we couldn't keep their belongings safe, isn't it? It's such a relief things didn't come to that. I guess the doors are quite sturdy then. It looked like the robber did all he could to get it opened. See the double locks in the doors designed to engage itself when the wrong password is entered multiple times. Whatever the robber did locked the doors. Locked the lockers. So once the system's triggered, not even an elephant jumping on it will bust it open. But that's a problem of its own. We're in a bit of a pickle, yes? Well, if the secondary lock is activated, we need to enter the administrative password to reset the lock. But the password is missing right now, and we still don't know what's inside locker 222. How can such an important password go missing? Seems like it got lost when the previous manager left the job. It's not like we use the password often. We forgot to. That's a problem. I think knowing what the culprit was looking for inside the locker would be crucial for our investigation. It's not completely lost. They did leave some information about the password, but it isn't very structured. Okay, let's look at it. It's in the ticket office. Alright, we'll go there. Take care of yourself now. I'll let you know when we have more questions. Okay, call me anytime. Okay. Welcome, where to? I'm Detective William Russell from the Somerset Police Department. Oh, hello. Can I help you? I heard the document related to locker passengers being kept here. We're taking a look at it first. We'd like to see what's inside the locker right away, will you? We'd really like to, however, okay, maybe if you look at it, it'll be faster. Okay. Okay, I don't understand why I swapped into doing that right away. So we have the password. Peter Street, Somerset Beach, Denford Port, Real Valley, Dock City, Prima Donna Park. So this, yeah, it's a bit weird, huh? This doesn't seem relevant at all to the password, does it? 40-year-old bus schedule for 1910. So number password. What is it? PWAO? Are we adding it up? I don't understand. So you have password. It says A is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 6 though on this, right? You've got beach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So A is 6, B is 2. You've got 1 B here, 1 B there. You've got 2 B's. C is 2. So you're counting the number of letters. As need the locker password, password. So you're adding pass to word. Except P subtract 5. Why is it P subtract 5? Or no, P is 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so P is 5. So how did you get 1910 plus 1950? Ridiculous scrolls open. They set the password themselves. Yeah. In charge of the bus schedule. It was the first schedule he drafted after he started working here. His job was to draft bus schedules every 10 years. He retired after drafting this one's 40 years at the station, so he set the password he made this year's schedule. I think so, I'm not sure. Hey, locksmith. Find a locksmith! We'll have to call a welder from Pimstown. That's gonna take a while. Can't believe you can figure out the password. There's not much information. So the problem is password has 8 letters, right? And then you're asking me to, like, add up the letters from, like, 2 years. Yeah, okay. 1910 plus 1950. I don't understand why you're crossing the A out with 5. And the 8S. So if I go to my inventory, which it's no longer letting me get to, I should figure out the password. Yeah, no shit. So, how do I get... Okay. So if I go back to the bus schedule in 1950, if I look at password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to be annoying. I'm going to write this down. Okay. So we got pass. Oh, I need a pen. Do I have a pen? I used to have a pen that sat here, and now it's not here. Oh, there it is. So there are 6. P is 6. A is 9. S is 6. W is 2. O is 7. So that's a D. O is 6. R is 9. And D is 7. So it arranged pass and word over 2 lines. So it would be 6, 9, 6, 6, 2, 6, 9, 7. So am I supposed to add pass and word together? Right? Because in this thing, you put the 2... You put the 2 on top of each other, right? But you put 5 over A when A was 6. And then 8 over A when A was 6. So P was 5 and A was 6. P plus W. P was 5 and W was 1. So that would have been a 4, right? If you minused it, or a 9 if you added it. So S, we go back to S. S was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. S is 5. S plus D is 5, so it's 10. So that would be 0, carry the 1. Then another S, which is 6, plus R, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 plus 7 is 13, right? So R is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 7 plus S, which is 5, is 12. Plus the 1 is 13. So I don't know how you got to the 5 there. So, okay, let me do that. So let me just add it up. Password. So this is 3, carry the 1. 9, 10, 6, carry the 1. 6, carry the 1. So 9, 6, 6, 3 is 1950. And this guy is, P was 5, A was 6, S was 5, word was 1, was O. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. R was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And D is 5. So 0, carry the 1. 12, 3, carry the 1. 6, 7, 3, 2, carry the 1. So it's 9, 6, 6, 3 plus 7, 2, 3, 0. So it's 3, 9, 8, 1. It's a 5-digit now. 16893. But this is a 4-digit. Do I just drop the 1? Am I supposed to subtract, not add? So that's 3, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 3. The holder will be here in 2 hours. Sugar Rush. Look at the left side of the document that says password twice. What? How is that a hint? I've looked at it more than twice. William said it looked like a bingo board, but that was because some lines are drawn between the letters. Oh, it wants me subtracting them. Oh god. So this is 9. Eight. 2. So 4, 2, 8, 9. And on the other side it's 0, 8, 0, 4. And then so it's 8, 2, oh sorry, 9, 6, 3. So 8, 3, 6, 9, really? That's what you're going with there? That didn't work either. Hint 1, borrowing from the next column. Give me a new hint. Yeah, exactly. I already knew that one. Keep going. I don't... I didn't get... I did get that one. 4... Yeah, I got that. 4080. I got that number, yes. 4269. I got 8. 9. I didn't get 6, 9. Okay, because this number was an 8 on my paper, not a 6. Alright, so I had a math error because I couldn't read my own writing. Fine. 8349, sure. I think your abstraction of when to add and when to subtract didn't make any sense. Alright. It's just some arithmetic, yeah, based on the clues and needing to know what they would have done based on a piece of paper that doesn't tell you that. Sure, whatever. Whatever. Thank God for hints. Or in this case, thank the game designer for the hints, because in the game designer did not give you the hints, you would not have gotten the answer. Whatever. What's in the locker? A normal suitcase. Exterior pockets are empty. That's all that's inside. So we got cigarettes. Ordinary travel items. You don't know what's hidden. Let's take a closer look. A tailored suit. Also has the brand labels removed. So it could have been the suspect's stuff. So he didn't use his toiletries. It's very cheap. That's expensive for Really? That's cheap for us. Robert could have known this before the suitcase. Makes me think of dumping products in Asia and gouging us and everywhere else to, you know, fund Asian lives if everything in Asia is so cheap and everything here is so expensive. Anyway, another look at the towel and toothbrush are expensive. They think it's expensive toiletries. Lumine cigarettes. There's an entire carton of cigarettes in the bag. There's too many. Short trip. Heavy smoker would burn through a carton in no time. Smoked 4 packs a day, this wouldn't have been a big deal. Or they could have been selling them. Anyway. They're gonna go get beer. We gotta ask about the beach. Selena is waiting for me at home. Cut me slack. Go talk to the ticket seller about the dead man. It's the detectives. I'd like to ask what happened yesterday. Don't know much about it. Not about the robbery. Did you see this person while you were on your shift yesterday? I work here all day, but I don't remember every customer I sell tickets to. If I did, my head would explode. Do you remember a customer who bought 2 tickets, each for Pamela Street, leaving at 8:10, and Somerset, leaving at 8:30? Ah, this I remember. Come to think of it, I think the customer looked like the man you showed me, yes. He came around 8. He asked for a ticket to Pamela Street, I think. And I sold it to him. And I thought that was the end of him. Then he came back and started banging on the windowsill. I told him the windowsill is really thin and he might break it. And then he told me to get a ticket for Somerset Beach. He was agitated. He got upset? I wasn't being angry with me, but his voice got louder. He was in a hurry. Yeah, massive hurry. See, he was in a rush. Okay. He asked for the fastest ticket, so I booked him another. But then his ticket bound for Pamela Street is useless, right? So I asked, sir, do you want a refund on the ticket? I don't know what he was in a rush for, but he snatched the ticket out of my hand and ran away. That's all I saw of him. That's why I remembered him to be odd. So he didn't even receive a refund and left in a hurry. Thanks for your help. No problem, detective. So on the evening of October 11th, a man arrived on the beach at 8 to 10 p.m. bus, died around 1 a.m. the following day after sitting on the seawall all night. Same night, around 11, someone tried to steal a suitcase from the locker, 222. So it may be related. So we got a heavy smoker. Okay, consider other possibilities. Seems like some of the connections are tenuous, so I should think it over. Okay. Keep considering other possibilities. So we got his belongings. According to the ticket seller, it's true that he was at Salty Mary Station on October 11th. At the same time, a suitcase was stored in locker 222. A strangely large amount of cigarettes and clothes, all with their labels removed. These things can't be a coincidence. It only makes sense that he was the owner of the suitcase. Whoever tried to open locker 222 wanted to get his hands on it. So he's injured a robber, but a key figure in the case. I don't think the person would be easy to track down. I don't have clues that would lead me to the suspect. Crime happened late at night where nobody was. Where should I begin finding witness? The book that Charlotte gave me was a completely unexpected clue. Maybe the case shouldn't be approached the regular way. Maybe the book can tell me the answer. Alright. So I thought the interfaces, the graphics were good. The animations were great. The graphics were good. The story leaves a little bit to be desired. You're jumping. You're also... It's very clear you don't have a high opinion of the police force that you're trying to, I guess, impersonate through story. which is a little bit of a conflict of interest, I would say. So it makes me wonder, is this a political piece? Like, what led you to do a story on detectives if you have a very little opinion on detectives? Anyway, it was a good effort. I'm not sure I would buy it because of the story loopholes, and I didn't like the puzzle. Maybe do an easier first puzzle in the demo if you're gonna hook players to make the thing go. It might be doable. And yeah, that would be my advice. Anyway, that's it for today's episode on Demo Weekend. That was Lumine Night. You can take a look at the demo yourself if you'd like. It's available on Steam. And that's it. Till next time.